Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen auset-heru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read and respond to two of my favorite comments from previous videos. Now, let me tell y'all something, right? My Aquarius men have been asking me a lot of questions. I had 5 Aquarius men ask me about the same general thing, okay? So I'm going to speak on it, even though I've traditionally been very delicate with my Aquarius men because I really don't want them to have a complex or to feel bad. But I do get a lot of complaints about them, and they want to know why. They're like, why? Why are people always, complaining about us? And I think if you watch my videos, you've probably seen many of the complaints. But today, I just compiled the list. So I'm going to give you the 5 biggest complaints that I get about Aquarius men. Some of these come from women, and some of these come from men. So these are people who are currently in relationships with or who have dated in the past Aquarius men. So these are the things that they told me. And since y'all keep asking me, don't come for me. Because y'all was the ones that asked for this. 5 of you asked me, what is the deal? Jordan asked me in the comment section. I got an email from a man today, Aquarius man, asking me about it. Somebody asked me on another medium, I think it was Instagram. I mean, I've been getting this question, and I got 2 other ones in the comment sections previously. And I always try to skate past it. Like, well, because homeboy was like, well, are we really that difficult to date? And I'm like, let's talk later. Because I don't want to come off like, oh, Aquarius men are the worst men in the zodiac. I don't think that's fair. I personally think that different people in the zodiac have issues for different reasons. So this is the complaints that I'm getting about you since y'all asked. Remember, y'all asked. The first one is people say that Aquarius men are extremely non-committal. And they take issue with this. Why do they take issue? Because they want to make a commitment. They want to have a long-term relationship. They don't want to just have a good time and see where it goes. And a lot of Aquarius men, they say, because I only dated 1 Aquarius man, and I'm going to be honest with you, it was not a good experience, and I would not repeat it. If I was dating men, I would not want to repeat it. I would be very careful with that vibration. I would have to see his whole chart and, get to know him very well, because the one time I did it, I didn't like it. I found him to be everything that's on this list, everything, and I'm going to keep going. So the non-committal aspect bothers a lot of people because they want a commitment, and the Aquarius gives them some type of, elusive kind of answer, and then they get mad and then they emailing me. So that's the first one. And this is not, these things that I'm talking about do happen with Aquarius women, but for some reason, I don't get a lot of complaints about it. I noticed that my Aquarius women who are in the same age groups have a tendency to be single. So that could be why. The Aquarius men that I come across have a tendency to be in relationships or to be in entanglements. So that could also be why too. But the non-committal aspect comes up over and over and over again. Somebody wants to get married. Somebody wants to go deeper into the relationship. Somebody wants, something more serious. And the Aquarius man is dodging it and not wanting to do it and not certain and that kind of thing. So I've heard about this a lot. My mother, who was with my father, and my father was an Aquarius man, talked about this same issue. 2. Difficulty with emotions. A lot of people say that Aquarius men and Aquarius women too have difficulty with emotions. But Aquarius men, I think is kind of complained about more because most of them are in relationships with women. So if you're in a relationship with a woman and you're with a woman who is either in control of her emotions or just very emotional, and you're the exact opposite, some of the times that energy is really hard because she doesn't feel like you talk about your feelings. She doesn't feel like you understand her feelings. So that becomes a big problem in communication, which is the next one I'm going to get into. A lot of people complain about communication with their Aquarius man. They tell me that the men are not capable of communicating, or they shut down easily and they don't want to communicate. And you can't be in a relationship and not communicate. So this becomes a really big problem, especially when it is time to talk about feelings, when it is time to talk about things that matter, and your Aquarius man shuts off or ghosts, or just, detaches from the room when you're trying to have this conversation. So a lot of people are complaining about this energy as well. They also complain that their Aquarius man is oblivious to their feelings and needs. Well, he might be oblivious because y'all didn't communicate about it, so he doesn't know about it. So he may be oblivious to what your needs are. So a lot of people said to me that they'll need something or want something. They haven't been able to communicate it. They're trying to throw the hint or whatever, and their Aquarius seems oblivious to it. Either they're not catching the hint or they just don't want to deal with it, one or the other. And the last one is, they said that a lot of the Aquarius men are dismissive of their feelings. So you're either oblivious, you don't see it at all, or you just dismiss it. So you do see it, but you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to address it. You just kind of flag it off. Now, I'm not saying that all Aquarius men are like this, because I have a lot of Aquarius male clients, and some of them don't have any, or some of them have, a lot of them have that emotions one, but a lot of them, that emotions one, difficulty with emotions, a lot of them have that one, but not all of them. And not all of them have these. All of them have at least one of these. But my thing is that men of other sun signs have these too. Especially when they talked about dismissive of their partner's needs. I've heard that from a lot of different people from a lot of different sun signs. But my thing is that it's not going to be all Aquarius men or only Aquarius men, but these are the complaints that I'm getting. So if you're an Aquarius man and you're listening to this and you're checking off the list thinking to yourself, nah, I'm none of these things, then this doesn't apply to you. If it doesn't apply, let it fly, because some of you, like I said, don't have these. Now, I'm going to tell you about the Aquarius man that I dated. When I dated an Aquarius man, I was in my early 20s. And what I didn't like about him and why I stopped seeing him was I found him to be crass. I found his mouth to be crass. Like when he talked to people, he always said he was keeping it real, but I just found it to be crass. I found, the way he talked to people, and I didn't get the impression he was trying to be offensive or he was trying to be rude, but the way it came off to others was really crass, and he didn't care. If somebody pointed it out, he really didn't care. He didn't notice it in the first place, and if it was pointed out, he didn't care. So for me, I really didn't like the crassness of his mouth. I also really didn't like the fact that he wanted to be close. And it was like he wanted to be close. He wanted to be with me all the time. Every time I turned around, he was coming to pick me up or we were going somewhere. It was like whenever I was free, he wanted to hang out. He wanted to have sex. He wanted to go places. Every time I was free and he was free, we were doing something. So it wasn't like he was fleeing or anything like that. But he wanted to do these things, and he wanted to act like a unit, like a couple, but not be a couple. So he wanted to do the things that couples do, but not have the couple title. And for me, I see that a lot with Aquarius in general and a lot with Aquarius men. And at that point in my life, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, look, if you're not trying to make it happen, we ain't doing nothing. And that's the way I looked at it. So eventually I ended up leaving him alone. So like I told you before, it wasn't something that I personally enjoyed. I had an Aquarius female in my life. I didn't exactly enjoy that either, But between the two of them, if I had to choose, she was definitely much easier to deal with. So my Aquarius brothers out there, they keep asking me why we get all these complaints. It's because of these things. These are the things that people are saying to me. He was like that too. He was non-committal. That's number one. He had difficulty with emotions. I never heard him speak about an emotion ever. And if I was upset about something, he looked so uncomfortable. So he had a lot of difficulty with emotions. His communication was off. We didn't really communicate like his feelings and things like that. Most of our communication was about things we were going to do, things we learned in school because we were in college at that time. So that was most of our communication, but it was very unsatisfactory in those ways. Was he oblivious or dismissive? He wasn't dismissive, but he was oblivious. If I said something bothered me, if I said I had a need, he would be attentive to it, but he didn't know it without me saying it. He had no ability to read me. And Aquarius are usually pretty intuitive, but I probably wasn't showing my hand either. I was kind of standoffish as well, so I think that could have been the oblivious nature. He really didn't pick up on it and really didn't try. Because I felt like he wanted me to stay at an arm's distance but be close enough to reach. That was the energy I was getting from him. And I just didn't like that energy. At that point in my life, I was young. At that point, I still wanted more children. I wanted to get married again. I was 22 years old, 23 years old, I might have been 22. And I hadn't thought, I wasn't nowhere near where I am now, mentality speaking. So, So Aquarius men, that's what people are complaining about. If it does not apply, let it fly. If it does apply, look at those things and decide, can you or do you want to change them? If you don't want to change them, then rock out. If women come and go or men come and go out of your life because of it, maybe somebody just like you will come along. Who knows? But the bottom line is that you have the information now and you can use it however you see fit. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the one recording the information. All right, guys. If you would like to get a reading done, please email me. And all my information is underneath this video. So if you would like to be a patron, if you would like to send me a gift from my Amazon wish list, because gifts are my love language, or if you want to get in touch with me or any of those kind of things, all that information is underneath every video, including this one right now. So come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.